Go ahead.
Hi. You better listen to Mom and take notes. Because we said so.
Okay, guys, so we're going to do lesson 7.3, which has a new property in it, and the property is a power to a power. Now, in this top box here, you need to write that down. I'm just going to explain what this means. This means we have what's inside here to the third power. So that means we have x to the fifth times x to the fifth times x to the fifth. So we have it 3 times. Now, you should know that from the previous rule that when we have the same base here and we're multiplying them, we have the product of same bases, all we have to do is we have to add them. So we have 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15. Now, our new rule tells us how to get that fast. All you have to do would be to multiply these two. So it equals 5x, the base x of 5 times 3, which equals x to the 15th power. Okay, so let's write down our rule. Power to a power says that any base a raised to the m power, then the whole quantity raised to the n power would equal the same base a raised to the m times n. So basically all you have to do is multiply your exponents and keep the common base. Okay, so let's do some examples here. We have p to the third, the whole quantity raised to the fourth power, and this equals p, and we would multiply 3 times 4, and you get 12. Here we have n to the fourth raised to the third power, so you get n, and look, 4 times 3 to the 12th power again. Okay, so now we have to simplify. So it's going to have an added step. So first we're going to multiply. We leave our 4. I'm going to grab my pen again, sorry. 4. Then we do the m to the fifth to the negative second would equal m to the negative 10th because you would multiply these two. And then now you can't leave it like that because we have a negative exponent. So we take anything with a negative exponent and you put it in the denominator. The 4 is not to the negative exponent, so you leave the 4 here and you drop the m into the denominator and it should have a positive 10 there. So that's your answer. This next one here, we have a to the fourth power, then the whole quantity raised to the negative third power. So we're going to multiply these two. We keep our a squared, and we get a to the negative 12th. Okay, so we can't leave those. So actually, now we can do this. We can add our exponents, and we will get a to the negative 10th power because they're both a's, and it's just a product with the same basis. So you add. That was from the previous chapter, previous section. And now we have to rearrange this so we have a positive exponent. So it's a to 1 over a to the 10th. Okay, now I have another rule for you, which is called a product to a power. So this is very similar to what we just did. Let me flip back real quick. This is a power to a power. So inside is just one thing that's raised to a power. New, it's called a product to a power, meaning we have something that's being multiplied inside our parentheses to a power. Okay, so what this means here, this 3y to the third power, means 3y times 3y times 3y, which means 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. And then we have y times y times y, and they all have like a 1 here that we just don't write. 1, 1, 1. You could add those and you get y to the third. Okay, our rule will show you that what you're going to do is you're going to put everything to that power of 3. So it's kind of like you're distributing it. 3 to the third power, and then y to the third power. You can't do anything with the y, but 3 to the third is 27, and then y to the third. Okay, so let's look at this rule. Power of this should say product to a power. I didn't switch this in here, sorry. Okay, so this should say product to a power. And then what that's saying in here is that we have a product, we have an a times a b to the nth power, and what you're going to do is you're going to raise each thing inside there to the nth power. So raise each factor to the power and then multiply. So now we're going to do some examples and then we are done. Okay, so in number 1 here, we have 5x to the third power, the whole thing raised to the fourth power. So I'm going to take this 4 and I'm going to put it to this. So the 5 becomes 5 to the fourth power. Then I'm going to do x to the third times x to the fourth. So you're multiplying this. 3 times 4 becomes x to the 12th power. Okay, now we have to simplify more. So we have to do 5 to the fourth power. I'm just going to pull up my calculator here, which means 5. Unfortunately, I don't have a scientific. So 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625. X to the 12th power. And there's no negative, so we don't have to do anything further. Okay, the next one, we're going to distribute a negative 2 to all of this. So this becomes 7 to the negative 2. And this becomes n, and we do 9 times negative 2 is negative 18. Okay, we have to make all of this positive, so it becomes 1 over, and we bring everything into the denominator, 7 squared, and n to the, now it's going to be positive 18. And then one last step, we make it 1 over, 7 times 7 is 49, and n to the 18th power. Okay, 2 more, and then we are done. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the powers that are outside of our parentheses. This here, we just multiply these two. You get x to the negative 4th. Here, we have to distribute this 4. This is a product inside here to a power, so we have to put everything to the 4th power. So it's going to be times, times 3 to the 4th power times x to the 4th power, because we do x to the 4th power, times y. You do 4 times 5, you get 20. Okay, so now I gotta look to see what I can simplify. Well, first I can put together my x's. Well, when you do negative 4 plus 4, those actually equal 0. Anything to the 0 means you have a 1. Okay, so these two x's actually go away. So I'm left with 3 to the 4th, y to the 20th, and I'm just gonna do 3 to the 4th here, grabbing my calculator, is 81. Y to the 20th. And that is it. All right, last problem. You're going to cube everything here. So this becomes 6 to the 3rd, a to the 3rd, b to the 3rd. All times everything squared here. So 5 squared. And then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Okay, so we have all multiplication. I see one negative, but before we can make it negative, we should put them together. So we have this a here to the 3rd and this a to the negative 6. 3 plus negative 6 is negative 3. So I'm going to do my 6's while I'm at it too. 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216. And I'm actually going to multiply it by my 5's as well. So times 25. I get 5,400. My a's together were a to the negative 3rd, and my b is still a 3rd. Now I'm almost done. I can't have this here, this a to the negative 3rd. You have to deal with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep the 5,400 on top, and my b to the 3rd on top, and on the bottom we're going to have a to the 3rd power, because you put it in the denominator to make it positive. That's it. Alrighty, I'll see you later. Have a good one.